Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield to Representative Schmidt from the great state of Kansas such time as he may consume.
The gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the chairman for yielding. It's my pleasure to rise in support today of H.R. 4305, the Dump Red Tape Act. I'm back again on this subject with this chart that shows the growth in the number of pages in the Federal Register where all of the federal regulations are published. It's where they're codified. That's where you go to look them up. And the number of pages has quadrupled in my lifetime. Let me just offer a couple of thoughts on how this bill is, in my view, important for small businesses to get at that problem of the creeping weight of federal overregulation. In my district, the 2nd District of Kansas, the eastern part of the state, it's more or less 80% of the small businesses, of the businesses in the state, employ 20 or fewer people. 80% of them are really small businesses. You're at about 93% if you go under 500 employees. But for a lot of us, that sounds like a big number in my part of the world. But under 20 employees, that's a small business, 80%. Those are the Main Street businesses we're talking about. And I talk with a lot of people that own those businesses, that work in those businesses. They're all active in their communities. They support everything from the local sports team to the local charity to the local schools foundation. That's what they're focused on, making a living, making their business work, whatever it is they do, provide professional services, other services, retail items, manufacture items. That's what they're focused on. They are not focused on this. They don't have an army of compliance attorneys and compliance consultants to help them figure out what's in these 200,000 pages of federal regulation and what that means for how they conduct their behavior in their communities each and every day. So how do we figure out where to start? And I think this bill is a very common sense answer. Ask the people who are most affected. The whole point of the red tape hotline that President Trump set up and that this bill codifies and makes permanent is to allow the people in the small business world who are affected by regulatory decisions made in this town, our nation's capital, to tell somebody who has the ability to aggregate that information and do something about it, bring it to the attention of lawmakers. This is where you need to focus. This one of all of these is what's making a difference in preventing me from adding more employees, having a little more liquidity that I can, maybe redo the storefront on Main Street. Maybe I can give a little more to the local charitable cause. Or maybe my family will just be a little bit more comfortable going into the holidays. Ask the people affected. Listen to their voices. That's what this bill does. And it makes sure we put in place a simple structure that is permanent so that the vagaries of this town don't, change things on Main Street. Mr. Speaker, I strongly support this measure. It is just common sense. And I yield back.